the one and only Jayvion Daniels. So, did the holidays did they drain you? Did they fill you up? How did it leave you feeling post Christmas?
The holidays was cool, man. We took a little family vacation together. Went to the Bahamas, enjoyed that. Then came back together actually on Christmas Day, and had some small laughs, some family time. I would say, like I said, it kind of left me rejuvenated. I look forward to, like you, growing a family of my own, kind of branching off from your regularly scheduled program of growing up with mom and dad, and kind of being out on your own now since I'm 25. So looking forward to creating my own traditions, welcoming my own family at some point. I'm kind of just building it that way.
Um, like what is some of the traditions that you would like to bring for your own family when you make one?
Oh, can you repeat that?
What would be some traditions that you would like to create for your own family? As far as like with the holidays,
Okay.
Christmas in specific.
Yeah.
Let me reiterate on that question. It's a lot of people who get the presumption that they have to buy gifts for Christmas.
Yeah.
Like that's not the meaning of Christmas. We should
Absolutely.
naturally just be givers.
Yeah.
We should naturally be receivers. That should come naturally, man. I think oftentimes the overflow of buying and purchasing and purchasing and purchasing actually is taken away from the tradition, from the values of
Yeah.
from the meaning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so what would it be that you would like to change or reiterate or start within your own family?
Um, I agree with you. I think that is something. Um, we black, so I'll say in the black community, that I feel like sometimes holds us back as we go, and sometimes press forth and do and make decisions that we shouldn't be making, right? Just to fit in with the cause. But for myself and my family, what I would like to do is I would kind of keep it, again, now that we're older, my household, my mom and, my close siblings, we usually take a family trip. And I think that's kind of what I would end up going with as I create my own family. And then with the toys, and things that I feel like the kids are no longer playing with, I feel like those should be donated. The clothes should be donated, to make sure, we are giving back to the community, to try to build up others, to uplift others, to create that change, to create that remembrance of, to be thankful for what you have. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times you look around and, comparison is the thief of joy. So you're trying to see who got what, who paid for what, how they get this, how they do whatever. So I think, for me, as I go to create my family, is to remember that point that you blessed to have what you do have. Whether you crying in a Bentley or you crying in a Honda, just be thankful for what you do have. So I think that's going to kind of be something that I want to bring into. It's just giving back to the community, the less fortunate.
How was your upbringing, man?
My upbringing was cool. So for a while, my mom and my dad had me fresh out of high school. So I was a college baby. So in that, you got to kind of keep up. My mom was more of I like to say, a drill sergeant versus an affectionate mother. So a lot of ways that she showed love or received love was just by doing. You know what I'm saying? She tell you clean up, she expected to be cleaned up. That's how you show your appreciation for her. So it kind of, I want to say it was rough growing up, but it was an adjustment because, as a kid, you want to be clingy, you want to be, do whatever. But it taught me how to be independent. And then my mom got married when I was 11. And I got step siblings, and, things changed because now my stepdad is trying to reiterate we look out for each other. But for, what I'm saying, for the longest, it's just been me, me, me. So that was quite an adjustment. Playing sports, enjoying that, understanding teammates, and things of that made that matter. Just really adjusting to the overall viewpoint of looking out for each other, and then going to college, and then playing college football, and then coming back home again. That was the start of the brand. Was how to look out and how to take care of other people, how to uplift other people, how to pour in other people, how to uplift your community. How do you see things from a different view based on your upbringing, and kind of try to, point people into that direction. So that's kind of how the brand started. That's kind of, a small detail of my upbringing was. For me, it was like, okay, it started off as me, because I'm just trying to keep up with my mom. Being a single mother, she got to make ends meet, and she ain't got time to kind of be holding your hand the whole time, to then get in this big family aspect. And now it's like, okay, how do you look out for them when they fall short, or how do you lift them up? And then again, now the brand is kind of with just incorporated and lifted into that. So now it's just trying to get back to your community. How can we uplift people into doing what may not seem cool to everybody? You like taking pictures. Go take pictures, man. You like making music, go make music. Everything ain't got to be trap music. Everything, you know what I'm saying? You want to make clothes, go make clothes, bro. We don't have them all. This is the perfect place to start, you know what I'm saying, to kind of feed into that. So that's kind of, again, just a small breakdown of who I am and how the brand became.
The brand we talking about, obviously, you all know what it is, and for you who don't, it's called Daringly Different.
Absolutely.
Let's speak specifically to that name. To be daringly different. What is that?
So Daringly Different started as Dare to Be Different. I kind of had an idea again coming right out of college, but I kind of, you know what I'm saying, I didn't know where to start. So one day I'm sitting down at a sign house, getting my hair cut, and this is my first time meeting Boy Boy. And we sitting here and we talking about credit. I'm like, credit is like credit is like the drug game, right? If you get fronted in the corporate world, that's just a loan. You know what I'm saying? If you want to meet a different plug, and you know what I'm saying, you need a connection, that ain't nothing but a cosigner in the corporate world. So we had a connection. We built that bond, and then that's kind of how I jumped off the porch. But Daringly Different was the name, and the meaning again is I came home and I seen a lot of people that I had either played Major League Football with, played YMCA basketball with. I don't want to say make poor choices, but on their environment and where they were headed, they ended up in a place I feel like they shouldn't have been, right? We needed different guidance. We needed better guidance. So for me, the brand became, because I wanted to push people to be different. I wanted to push you to not do what everybody else on the block was doing. I wanted to push you to not do what you seen your uncle doing. And it was like, okay, it's cool to be different. Embrace it. Embrace that challenge of, carrying that weight of nobody really supporting you until you make it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing for me. Like, I went to Air Force, and then I went to Shawnee. So if you don't know me from Air Force or Major League Football, you ain't really hear of me again until the close. And now it's like, okay, who's this dude who popped out? Like, I got asked a lot of times, you from Lima? And it's like, yeah, I'm born and raised in Lima. I ain't never moved until I went to college. But it's that set apart factor. And it's like, that's kind of what I want to bring and incorporate to the brand. It's like, nah, it's okay to be in something and be like, nah, this ain't for me. I don't want to go down that route. You know what I'm saying? I know what this lead to. Or again, we getting older now, people having kids. It's like, nah, I want to be around for my children. You know what I'm saying? This was cool and it was fun, but if I get caught, you know what I'm saying, that's 5, 10. Now somebody around my son, now somebody around my daughter, and just kind of missing out on that aspect of life. We got a lot of smooth, decent factories around here, which I'm not saying make you rich by any means necessary, but with a budget and some skills, you know what I'm saying, you can live a solid life here in Lima. And if you don't want to be in Lima, that's cool. Ain't nobody limiting you towards that. But we can't say that we don't have opportunity as, you know what I'm saying, as the people.
That was a handful. I ain't gonna lie. I wasn't ready for that. Fun fact, I knew you from somewhere.
Yeah.
Air Force.
Air Force.
I knew it, but what you just said was 100% true, man. When Daringly Different, when it popped out, and Jayvion Daniels, when you popped out with your brand, man, I'm like, I know bruh from somewhere. Yeah. I just don't know from where. That's where it's from, though. We definitely both attended Air Force. Shout out to Pastor Roberts.
Yeah, man.
Let's speak a little bit about this past year, man. What effects did this year have on you, man? As far as as far as, with the business, juggling your life, your job, your mental health. Like, what was that in just in the best way you can put it, man? How would you describe your year of 2025?
The way that I would describe 2025, no pun intended, it was a different year. It was a year of growth, new clientele, understanding things, job switching, exciting news, disappointing news, kind of understanding, handling business credit, and not necessarily my own business credit, but loaning people business credit, because that's the other thing. I kind of had made a post about anybody who owed credit, by this date. If you don't pay it, you can't shop in the next year. And people kind of laugh, but as I kind of try to explain, it's like it's the same as Afterpay. You know what I'm saying? It's the same as being a dope boy. And you go front of eighth, you go front of zip. It's all the same. I'm trying to, receive my back end. I'm trying to receive my money as well.
Oh, hold on, bro. I gotta say something real quick because, for real, because every conversation that we have, you always find yourself trying to do something good. You find yourself trying to. I ain't never heard of nobody in the city of Lima, for that matter, with the clothing brand, talking about credit.
Yeah.
You really looking at things from a business point of view, bro. And the fact that you doing that, I hope that can motivate other people to don't be vulnerable, but to give people a chance.
Yeah.
And then once they show you that chance, like you said, well, now it's no longer. It's no longer. But the fact, I just wanted to just give your flowers real quick, bro. The fact that you that invested into your people, bro, that's what's up. Yeah, man. I had to drop the applause for him, man.
I appreciate it, but that's what it was. Like I said, just growing up from a single mom. I wasn't getting whatever I wanted at the time, and then when the family got bigger, it got even worse. Now it's more mouths to feed, it's more things to do. So you kind of understand life, especially coming into my own life. I done bought a house. You done went through a few different cars. You done went through a few different jobs. You kind of see the ups and downs and the highs and lows of life. So it's like, no, I understand. You know what I'm saying? Again, you look good, you feel good. What do you say in football? You look good, you feel good, you play good. So it's like, I understand you want to, you know what I'm saying? You on a budget right now. You trying to go get fresh. You trying to go step out, you know what I'm saying? Make a little impression, have fun. It's uplifting, especially, like I said, being in Lima with not really much to do. I understand that. I think the thing is, like you said, don't be vulnerable. And don't take kindness for weakness. You know what I'm saying? If I'm looking out for you, I'm expecting you to look back out for me. You know what I'm saying? And there's people who do take advantage and you get burnt. And that's come with the game of anything, right? Whether that's money, you know what I'm saying, food, looking out for somebody as a friend, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times you look for yourself in people, and that let you down. But again, moving forward into the new year, there will no longer be credit. Everything will strictly be online. So if you're not online and you buying it, so that means no holds. That means no Apple Pays, no Cash Apps for let me get this, let me hold that. Everything will strictly be ran through the website. You'll have, again, a paying for option. So if you are on a budget, you can pay in for. That also protects myself. I get paid up front, and then you, again, are paying somebody else. You're paying a loan company like Afterpay or Klarna, but I get my money. And I think that's the other thing that we don't think about on the back end is sometimes the owner, right? So it's different if you get over on Walmart. It's different you go get over on Target. You know what I'm saying? But for you to kind of, I'm chasing you down for a little cash or whatever the case may be. Not only is it principle, but I'm not as big as them. So you don't know what you know what I'm saying, messing up in the grand scheme of things, of my order, how things function or how things work, or why I can't re-up. Oh, well, JD ain't dropped. I usually drop monthly. You know what I'm saying? Either once a month, twice a month. But that's one thing that a lot of people also know around the city is Danley Different is consistent. It's always something new. It's always something fresh. But it's like, yeah, no, you definitely want to show love. But again, a lot of times it can bite you in the end.
I'm gonna ask you something.
Yeah.
You know, people oftentimes complain about prices.
Mm-hmm.
We had this conversation off camera
Yep.
at
Misha pop
at
up.
at Amisha's pop-up shop. For those who don't know,
Insanity Star.
Insanity Stars, man. Like, what's your take on that as far as your prices go?
As far as prices go, and then I'm gonna double back to the first question at first that you kind of answered. It's true, which is part of the name of the game, right? It's a blessing and a curse. Being a small brand, especially in the city, as you get bigger, as you grow, as you establish foundation, quality, your customers, your support, it helps because there are new brands popping up here everywhere else it go. Again, for example, I remember when I was first starting and I would see Boy just like he moving all his clothes.
Real quick, for those who don't know who Boy is, Motivator. Shout out to Motivator.
Shout out Motivator. But you would see Motivator move all his clothes like this. And it don't matter what he was dropping. You know what I'm saying? And it moved. And I would compare Motivator at that time to Jordans. You know what I'm saying? The Jordan drop, it moved. It don't matter what Jordan is dropping, whether it's a 12, a 3, a 4, is doing its thing and it's kind of moving. And I think, again, as you grow as a business, you appreciate it because, again, let's say, for example, we'll shout out, you know what I'm saying, DJ Tubbs. Tubbs may come shop with me before he goes shop with anybody else. You get what I'm saying? No matter who dropped, no matter, you know what I'm saying, what's kind of going on. So you respect it on that aspect. So again, with the bigger brands, the Gucci's, the Tommy's, the this and the third, they have that brand power, right? You go wear that outside. You go wear a Rude t-shirt in Miami. You know what I'm saying? People know. Oh, he spent $200 on that. You know what I'm saying? He spent a good $100 on that. And again, as our community, we like to be flashy. So you want people to know what you got on. You go wear, you know what I'm saying, a daringly different shirt outside alignment. You may go get a compliment on it. Somebody may ask where you got it from, but everybody don't know. Like, damn, that's how much you really paid for it, so it don't have that big of an impression. That's one thing that I've noticed. Like usually when people go on vacation, they shop with the bigger streetwear brands. But when they in the city, they wear our brands because again, in the city, you know how much somebody paid for that. When they pop out with it, you know, oh, he spent $150 on that suit. Oh, that hoodie was $100. You know what I'm saying? But you go take that outside of the city, it kind of diminished the value. As far as getting over on them, again, these are multi-million-dollar corporations. You go, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say I condone, but shout out to Boosters. The Boosters go do what they gotta do. That's a write-off. You know what I'm saying? That's lost. You know, they ain't too much worried about that. You know what I'm saying? You come take a hoodie, I'm expecting you to, you know what I'm saying, hit me back on the back end and you don't get it to me. That ain't a write-off for me. You know what I'm saying? That don't move as easily. And I think that's the one issue. But back to your one question as far as prices, that goes back into it. Again, the more clothes you order, the lower the price you may get. So again, you may go in a store and the Nike pair of shorts is $40. Okay, well, they done bought 1 million pair of shorts. They paying $3 per short, $4 per short. And then they jacking it up 100%. But again, what are you paying for? You paying for the name. So when we get into the city, I don't really feel like brands are overcharging. I feel like one, they charging for the name, right? When you start shopping, franchise, when you start shopping Motivator, when you start shopping Different, when you start shopping Von Hill, HBK, when you start going with all these brands who have kind of, you know what I'm saying, either built their name or built their face or built, yeah, you finna pay more versus, you know what I'm saying, a brand that's just starting. Why? Because when you just starting, you just want people in it. You just trying to spread a name. You just trying to, but when you kind of establish, it's like, not that they're gonna buy it regardless, but one, you got your retention. You got your customers that's coming back every time. They know what they getting. They know how it fit. They know why they buying it. They know how much it costs. There's no hassle. There's no real negotiation. And then you also know, even if it is, again, these your main people. If you come to me and you spend $300 a pop, and you want to work out a deal, you shop frequently. It's the people who want to buy a hoodie 1 month, go 3 months, dang, take 5 off of this. And not that people I don't feel like want to look out, but we also kind of feel like it's borderline disrespectful. Because imagine you come up to me and a Benz and you asking for $10 off, and then you got a Insanity Star outfit on. Now that's nothing against Misha and them. And that's nothing against the car that you worked hard for. But I'm in the same boat. So why I'm taking money out of my, you know what I'm saying? So it kind of rotate. And I think that's kind of where the brands, and I'm not going to speak for everybody, but where the disrespect come in. Because it's like, nah, I didn't watch you, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was probably the worst thing in 2025 that I've seen or made me feel away. Is where you may give somebody a credit or you may give somebody a lookout, and then they go pop out and somebody else new outfit, or they go, and you like, I know they not moving off credit. So instead of you paying me first, you paid them, and then you gonna get to me when you get to me. So it's like, yeah. But as far as brands and prices, I don't really think everybody is really trying to, you know what I'm saying, overcharge. I think people truly are trying to, one, make it worthwhile. If a pair of shorts cost me, let's say $15, and I charge you $25, that's $10. You don't leave no room for, if stuff do not sell, to put it on sale, right? Because if I started it for $25 and then it was, oh, it's not moving, let me put it for $20, I'm making $5. You might as well go to work. You might as well go work some overtime. So I think we got to really understand, okay, one, they trying to put it at a price point where it makes sense to take that risk, right? Everybody don't got a business card. So before they pay their bills or with the extra money they got, they going and buying some clothes. They're trying to re-up on clothes. Okay, cool. How can they make this seem worthwhile for the risk and the reward? If it ain't really no reward to it, it ain't no point in putting the risk there. I might as well just go back to work. You know what I'm saying? And then two, again, for things that don't sell, right? You got to discount it. You gotta figure out a way how to move it. Well, again, if I'm not pricing it where I can take a discount, then I'm never gonna discount. It's 25, take it or leave it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's kind of what's really going on. I think brands are charging what they worth, again, especially as they grow and expand. And I think going into 26, just talking to a lot of brands as we are trying to expand outside of Lima. And as you expand outside of Lima and other people start paying in, one, that's kind of when your hometown pays it forward, right? So we can look at Ageless Studios. I was going to say Dope is Dom, but my boy Dom, right? As he moved outside of the city poured back in to show love. Oh, he got such and such in the clothes. And this and so I understand that's kind of how trends work and things work in that matter. But I think that's kind of where things are going to get tricky. As if when the Lima brands start to expand, it's not going to be as easily available no more. And then prices really ain't going to be negotiable, because if somebody in Columbus is paying $150 online and not saying nothing about it, why am I coming to you and taking $25 off just because we homies? You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what's going to be happening moving forward. The thing as well is we got to break this whole I don't want to look like everybody else vibe. We got to cut that out. This whole, well, they got this, or I don't want to wear this to the bar. Stop buying it and wear it the same night. That's the problem. We drop. You buy it, You go put it on the same day. You end up at the bar. Again, it's love. I think we're very grateful for the support that we do get. I don't think any of us will come up here and complain or dead any light like we're not grateful or thankful for those. But the thing for me is y'all don't do that with Jordan. The same Jordans drop every month. Y'all in line for those. The Gammas just dropped. Everybody wore those. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is we gotta stop with this whole I don't want to look like switch it up. You know what I'm saying? Everything ain't gonna be a sweatsuit. Everything ain't gonna be a top and a bottom. You know what I'm saying? Or you gotta start getting creative. Like again, a lot of the brands start trying to mix and match stuff. They may drop some one drop and then come up with something different that correlate because we are trying to navigate and break it up so everybody don't look alike in unison. But it's like, man, it's winter. Everybody trying to be comfortable. Everybody trying to be warm. So it's like, okay, cool. We know you're going to put on the newest Jordan. We know you're going to put on some Timbs. We know you're going to come Forces. We know you're going to want a sweatsuit. That's not our fault. That's not our fault. And then if we really did go on some, we don't want everybody to be the same. We don't want to, then you get mad because we making it so limited. Oh, it's only one of this. It's only one of that. I sold that out already. What? And then, okay, then it go from being limited to, well, can you make it for me? I'll pay extra. Or can you do this? Okay, so now you want us to make stuff just for you to look like everybody. So it's like, bro, we in this repeated kind of this cycle. And I think that's the only thing, again, that sucks because you do want to keep doing stuff, right? You may have a top seller. You don't keep redropping the top seller because everybody done already seen it, right? We also got to remember that a lot of consumers are impulse buyers. They see it the first time, they want it now. So if they see it 2-3 times, now they don't want it. So now you sit on clothes. So that's another segment. I remember talking to Jayvion, shout out to Black Sheep, when he was like, oh, well, I'm going to redrop this. And I was like, I wouldn't do that. He's like, well, such and such been asking. I said, yeah, because again, when they see it, they want it. But as soon as you tell them it's a wait or it's a delay, and thankfully for him, you know, he proved me wrong. He ended up moving that second load, but I can't do nothing but speak off experience. That's not me speaking down on nobody, but it's like, again, when you drop something and you kind of move, or it moved that first time, usually that second time, it don't move as hot because again, you get your repeat customers. But as I would tell franchise when before they started, I used to be like, my favorite thing to say is no. My favorite thing to say is no. I like saying no more than a sale. And that's not because you missing a sale. It's because, one, you see that your product is working, right? I only can say no if I don't got the product. So you see that your product is working, you know, your quality is worth it, you spreading, you're doing what you got to do as a brand. But then, two, it creates that fear of missing out, that exclusivity, right? So again, that's what we all like about Jordan. And to any brand that is starting or do whatever, just adopt what's working. Stop trying to create your own new scheme, this own new way. Adopt what's working. Jordan dropped a new pair of Jordans, a retro, every month, and they move the same product. Why? Because they're making a limited pair. They're making, you got a raffle, you got to get what. So it's like, okay, do the same thing. Don't drop a lot of clothes. Or if you do, drop a variety of clothes. Again, so everybody, that's one thing that I kind of created. I wouldn't say I created because I'm not a creator of that. But it's something that I feel like I started in the line of brands that others have adopted is giving variety. Because again, when you walk in a store, they ain't got just one sweatsuit that you can buy. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't just one sweatsuit in 3 colors. Okay, it's a jacket of this. Okay, this is a coat. Okay, this is a t-shirt. And you break it down. So again, as a customer, if you want to come in and you're like, oh, well, I was only going to grab this sweatsuit, but I really like this. You know what I'm saying? You kind of got to be in that torn position. And I think that's another thing that will make the website a lot better is even if you didn't have it all right there in that moment, like I said, you can break down the payment. You can put it on a credit card or however you want to do, knowing that he's probably not going to redrop this again. Or it's probably not going to come out again. Or I do want this right now, but I also want this. And you could be able to still grab all of it and still, you know what I'm saying, be living comfortably. Okay, we'll give it a few things. One, again, I'll say, again, just the brand. I think a lot of times we don't think of the highs and lows in it. You don't think of the creator's block. You don't think of the difficulties of you ordering something and it get here and it ain't what you wanted, or kind of how depleting that could be, or you putting your time and effort into something and it don't sell well. I think that's one thing that doesn't seem big, but I'm extremely grateful for. Second, again, would be my relationship with God. How that has continued to grow and kind of tug on my heart as I continue to develop our relationship, as I continue to look towards Him versus myself, as I become reliant on Him versus on what I can do, and spreading His word. I think that's the biggest thing that I kind of been big on, is reading the word, right? I think a lot of times we go on this whole hiatus of what we heard, or you took something out of context. You read one verse and, oh, it said this, or, just things that we feel like can turn people away. I think a lot of times we can't separate God from His people, right? So we worship a perfect God. His people are not perfect. The pastor is not perfect. Jayvion Daniels is not perfect. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of times we take a lot of church hurt with us, or something that we don't agree with, you kind of feel a way about, or you can't, I don't want to say move past, but a lot of people aren't really critical thinkers as much as they think they are, right? So we can talk about the biggest one I feel like gets in the way of our community will be the slave trade, right? The white people use the Bible to enslave black people, this, that, and the third. Cool. I don't take anything away from that. That is true history. Okay, but who sold the slaves? Black people. So we sold our own selves, right? We do that to each other still. It's the reason why I won't even say that I can't get behind, but we talk about Black Lives Matter. We still into it with each other. We can't, you know what I'm saying? We can't ever come together as a community for the most part. And I think, was that 2025 or 2024, the boat incident, when the chair went up and I think that's why we enjoyed that so much, because it showed that camaraderie, right? And I think that's something that our community enjoys. That's why we have the fraternities and the sororities, and we truly, the family reunions, right? As people, we really do enjoy that. I think a lot of times we are just misguided and don't truly put in a lot of thorough research to go read up for ourselves. And then when we do go read something, we don't compare the two, right? You go here, you say, I read this, I took this stance, and then somebody gets to speaking from here, you never understand, right? So we can shout out my guy Jamal Whiteside, right? Jamal recently is kind of, converted into Islam. We done had a lot of, healthy conversations. But for me, it made me get into apologetics, because I can't have a conversation with him if I don't understand where he's coming from. If I don't understand his, you know what I'm saying? So that don't make me no scholar in the Quran or anything like that. But to know the basis of what it is that they understand, to know certain scriptures or certain things, you know what I'm saying? You can have a conversation. And I think a lot of times we don't. And I think even as believers, as Christians, you grow up one side. Like I told my mom that. I was like, we grew up in a household where if it didn't sound like home, you don't listen, right? You turn it off. But in that, if you talking to me about something and it looks clear as day that I'm not listening to you, when it's my turn to tell you, is you gonna listen to me? So I think that's definitely something that I'm grateful for. Is again, my relationship with God, as I continue to pour into the people and do what I can to minister, whether it's through my clothes, right? A small Bible verse on it goes a long way. It can uplift somebody. spreads as a covering, or two, again, just my social media platform, telling people to go read the word. Being there, I've had people reach out to me all the time about questions and things to ask. So being well versed in that, and like I said, just doing what we're supposed to do, making disciples. Yeah, but the devil, the best part about when you really get into your word is you see the correlation between what the Bible says and what the world twists, right? So the devil appears as an angel of light. And in that, we think of, let's think, for example, an eye for an eye, right? The street lingo, eye for eye, or whatever the case may be. Or the Bible say turn the other cheek. And you kind of think of how things have been reworded, right? So it says in the Bible, you are a child of God. You are made in the image of God. It doesn't say that you are a God or you're part God, or, you know what I'm saying? It says, again, the Holy Spirit lives in you, but that doesn't mean you have a God-like complex. You're human. You know what I'm saying? You fail. You sin. You fall into temptation. You do these things. So we take certain things and twist and pervade a word to make it fit our ideal image of what it is, right? So then you come out with, right, this thing called New Age, and this is all this, right? Me. I can uplift myself. I can bring myself out of this. It's this self-empowerment, which I'm all for self-empowerment. But again, all good things come from God. So if I'm more reliant on Him, right? It says, cast your cares onto His feet. So you carrying all this burden.
Hold on, JD.
You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, JD. Now, in the Bible, it also says that faith without works is dead.
Of course. Faith without works is dead. And I think in that, we also have to understand the context of what's being said. Because again, you also don't earn salvation based off your works. You didn't do anything. Now again, if I go give you $1,000 and you don't go invest or move that $1,000, you just got $1,000. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got it, but you didn't do anything with it. Which again is a parable in the Bible about that. It's about the sowers, right? So the rich man gave he gave coins, basically money, and one person went and buried the money, while the other two went and flipped the money. And when he came back, they split the coins and he dismissed them. Because again, what God gives you, you're supposed to appreciate, you're supposed to multiply, you're supposed to do well with, right? So a lot of us, we want more, but you can't handle more because you can't handle what you got. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the other thing we kind of do is we got to really sit down and break and listen to what the word is saying and not what we want it to say. Because I always tell people this, right? I usually get the word a lot because the Bible does speak in parables. I speak in analogies. It's my favorite thing to kind of do. But what I always say is, if you take out the miraculous signs, to me, Christianity makes the most sense out of all other religions or belief systems. And the reason I say that is because, for example, Jesus said, ask for anything in my name and it shall be done, right? Come to the Father, ask for anything in my name. Or nobody could get to the Father except through me. So, for example, if I go tell my mom that you my dog, you look out for me, you help me if I need, you know what I'm saying, whatever, J4 pulling through. If I'm uplifting you every time I come to my mom, nah, this really my guy. If I'm not here and you needed something, you call my mom, what do you think my mom gonna do? She gonna look out. Why? Because you look out for her son. Cool. So even if we just take, you know what I'm saying? Or again, let's think of the eye for eye thing, right? Adam sinned. They ate the fruit, the forbidden fruit, correct? Sin entered the world. Something needs to hold place of that. Something had to be, you know what I'm saying? Something had to give, because not only is God all merciful and all powerful, but he's a just God. It's justice. So again, if the wages of sin are death, something has to die for the sins that you committed, right? So again, like I said, if we just take that, and it's also why we get into he who finds a wife finds a good thing. Okay, cool. It's not saying that what is pertaining and what it's saying is your wife, before you find her, should have already being your wife. And she should be being a wife to Christ, right? She should be a bride to him. She should be understanding and spending time with him. She should be submitting to him. She should be doing whatever to him. And then if you are a man of God, it's not just any man, right? So ladies, we're not just shouting out any brothers or not. But if you are a man of God and you are submitted to God, then that's where the hierarchy, that's where the order comes in. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of times, like I said, we take and flip scripture, or we do what we want based on what we heard and not what we actually read, and without doing any real knowledge and research. And like I said, a lot of times when people do get irritated with people spreading the word, it's because they just don't understand. Because again, if analogy, let's say the scammers, it's a new scam going on. You know what I'm saying? Navy Federal cracking.
New one going on?
No, I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, let's say analogy wise, if Navy Federal cracking, right? And everybody like tap in if you got a Navy Fed. What people do? Sign me up, sign me up, sign me up. So if I feel like this is where eternal life is, this is what's going on, wouldn't I not want to sign you up? If I love you, not even as a, you know what I'm saying, but if I love you as a person, if I love you as I wouldn't want to tell you a better way to life. And again, God never said life was going to be easy just following him. You know what I'm saying? But he did say he would never leave you or forsake you. So I think, again, we got to kind of understand scripture before we kind of get irritated with what everybody believes and their misunderstandings.
JD, man, before we get into the next segment, I want to finish off with the year, because we had kind of like, we went.
Off,
yeah. What are you going to forgive yourself for, man?
What am I going to forgive myself for the year?
What you proud of that don't nobody else know?
Damn, J4, that's a good question, man. That's a really good question. What is something that I'm proud of that most people don't know? We'll shoot one out there that ain't, you know what I'm saying, that's a little personal, but it's, you know what I'm saying, it's doable. I made it a year without watching porn. I made it a year without watching porn. A year without masturbating. I think that's something that we kind of got to look at. How sometimes that also taints you, how that holds you back. We won't get into the whole spiritual aspect of it, but we can just talk about the expectations you created based on an image or a video of a woman you don't know, and then what the woman you do know or the woman you are laying down with, these false narratives that you created, this underlying tone of what sexual relationship should be, that ideally aren't always true. And I think that's something that we got to kind of think of is as you move forward, as you want a lifelong partner, as you want to grow and do these things, how to wring yourself free of those bonds, of those, you know what I'm saying? And we can't even think about, it don't even have to be porn, but let's just think about an ex. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Oh, freaking Cleacher, she used to do it this way. And my girl, you know what I'm saying? So now you thinking of this, and now that temptation. But, you know, as my stepdad would say, it's the 80-20 rule. You know what I'm saying? Are you going to leave the 80 for the 20. She don't do this one thing, you gonna go, you know what I'm saying? Or as most people say, the grass ain't greener on the other side, right? It's greener where you water it. So I think a lot of times we have to kind of just change our thought processing of how we view these things, and what God actually intended them to be. And I think a lot of times, like I said, the world, it twists and conform this narrative a lot, sexually, with not just sex but genders, and you know what I'm saying. It get messed up, and I think again that's something that nobody knows, but I'm proud of.
Bro, that was real deep.
Again, it's the creator is so detailed that you can't take him out of anything. So as you just said, these fantasies that you made up, and then you go out, and it's the reason why the Bible says you need to die to yourself. Because again, if you can't tell yourself no, and everything is always yes, oh, well, I get it this way, or not, it's like, okay, as my mom would say, discipline will teach you what determination couldn't. You'll learn so much more being disciplined. You'll learn so much more doing it the right way. You'll learn because everything that's done in the dark come to the light. You know what I'm saying? Or like I said, I speak in analogy. So even we could talk about Babyface Ray when he said the ride a little longer when you out here living honest. That's true. It's a lot different. You know what I'm saying? When you go punching it, when you go pour into your 401k, when you go put into a high yield savings account, when you go, yeah, you may not be able to go do what the dope boy is doing. You know what I'm saying? You that may not be your lane right now. You know what I'm saying? But again, everybody got their time. So it's like, okay, are you gonna stay down to reap what you sow? Because that's the other thing, right? We call it karma. The Bible says you reap what you sow. So are you gonna plant these seeds to get your harvest eventually, or are you not? And I think that's one thing that we kind of just got to sit back. And I want to speak strictly to the men, because I feel like, my bad. I feel like a lot of times that's what we don't have is a community of men to uplift each other. Is to say that, hey, I've been through that. You'll be all right, or to learn from each other. I think a lot of times we want to keep up a gate and oh well, nah, I'm gonna let him learn the hard way. And it's like, nah, we supposed to, especially as black men, I feel like we should be trying to really look out for each other. We should really be trying to end the violence. I think we should be trying to help build a community for our kids. You know what I'm saying? Think about the things that the Coach Bows, the Lydales, you know what I'm saying, what the Reggies, they then poured into our Hot Rod, that they didn't pour into our community and impacted these kids' lives. I think that's where we really up next. You know what I'm saying? They getting older. We're coming into age. So we need to build our community not only for each other as young black men, but also the youth that we're raising in Lima.
What would be something that you would encourage to the community of Lima, to the people of the world? What would you encourage them to do?
Something that I would encourage, and truthfully, just is to read as a community. Like I said, just to continue to educate ourselves. I think a lot of times we cut the learning process off after high school or after college. We're not always open to hearing new things or challenge our process of thinking. Whether that's books that you like, or whether that's the Bible, whether that's the Quran, whether that's whatever, read them all, because they'll all kind of point to tell you that to be a better person, but there's only one truth, and I'm not here to tell you what truth that is. That's for you to go search and seek for yourself. Secondly, would be that money isn't everything. I think we sometimes are so caught up in hustle culture that we forget the memories, because that's what truly lasts, right? The money come and go, but those memories last forever. So creating those memories with your family, for the loved ones. We had a lot of deaths in 2025 that really impacted our community. and all people have now are the memories. So that would be two things for sure. And then three, take care of your health. Take care of your mental health. Um, Not only just your physical, not only just working out, which that does go hand in hand, but take care of your health. Take rest days. Take time away. Reach out to somebody for help. Pray. That is why it's very important to be connected to the Creator, because that room there doesn't have vents. You don't have to worry about that going to somebody else. You don't have to worry about, him kind of telling your business without it coming with help, right? This isn't going to come from somewhere where somebody is judging you or throwing shade on your behalf, right? As sometimes our friends do, or, you told the wrong person. But those would be the three things that I say going into 2026 is make sure you read, make sure you really are creating memories that last a lifetime. And then three, make sure you take care of your mental health, man. Be a mental giant.
I would encourage people to start writing things down. Um, that's very important. Just start writing things down, and you'll see the change. You'll see what happens on the back end of that. And another thing is to try and let things go. Um, everything does not deserve your energy. Um, pray about it, and let it go. Um, I really well. You got anything for me, man?
Man, the only thing that I really gotta say, bro, is continue to push, continue to do this. Because again, I think a lot of times, like I kind of said earlier, you gotta sow that seed before that harvest comes. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes everything ain't always in season. It's a season for everything. So enjoy the process of it, and that's not only just to you. That's for everybody even listening. Enjoy the process of becoming who you want to be, right? So think about, again, I know I keep going biblical, but think about Moses, right? On the way to get to the promised land. It's 40 years. It shouldn't have took them no more than like 15 days. It took them 40 years. Um, and in that, they worship God, then they worshipped a golden cow. You go through this rinse and repeat until the water becomes clear, right? You have to be purified. So I think that's something that we have to remember as people. It's just like, okay, you may backslide. That don't mean give up. You may get hit. That don't mean give up. You may have just, came up on some good news and then some bad news follows. Don't give up. And I think that's the beauty of not only your brand of being a mental giant and understanding the the structure and what it takes to actually be strong mentally to go through life, but also my brand and being different and not taking the easy way out or to continue to do what you love. Because again, I always tell people, even when they ask me for help with a brand, I had this conversation with Misha a lot of times, and also with franchise with Hassan and Khalik, is like, it's not the brand part or starting that's hard. Because again, a lot of people buy because they're curious. You know on the scene, they want to see what you got. It's what you do in that first that drop flop. What happened when everything don't go as planned and you didn't put this money up, and okay, are they just into it because they wanted to make some money, or they into it because they passionate? And that's gonna be with anything, right? Are you gonna continue to do this podcast until it start making you some money and it'll make you no money and I stop? Or are you doing this because I'm really passionate about what I do? I'm really passionate about talking to my community and uplifting others and trying to conform the mindset to be a mental giant, to, show others that if they can do it, you can do it too. And I think that's the beautiful part about life, is it's this ongoing process of learning, and you never really stop learning. So that would be the only thing I really got to say as of right now. Until next time when we flip the roles.
Most definitely, man. To my brother Jayvion, man, I appreciate you for pulling up. It's really been a pleasure. You definitely got to come back because we got a lot more to talk about. We got a lot more to talk about, bro. So I just want to say, man, thank you for being daringly different. You really are, man. You doing something. Your state of the way that you think, man, it really is different. And you don't see that in our youth. You don't see it in our peers. But we are doing something that's different. And you know, it's a lot of other people out here that are as well. So we appreciate you all. Continue to be blessed. Continue to put your faith in you know the good one. Whatever that is to you, you have to figure it out. You really do, man.
Yeah, you gotta figure it out for yourself.
Yeah, you have to. But you know, be good, do good, and I believe good probably gonna come.